Welcome back. Having now built the frame for our 500 litre water tank, Dunk's getting straight back into it. You know the drill. Lots of measuring, lots of cutting, lots of measuring, lots of cutting. First up is the kitchen, framing the entire space, including fully custom drawers and under bench cupboards. But in this video we do encounter a few issues. That 5.5cm tapered edge means Dunk needs to recut and get creative with getting the aluminium flush with not only the floor but the walls as well.
Had all my kitchen cabinetry framed up. I think rebuild this similar to how I did the bench seat, so it sits flush with the wall.
Last he'll show you how he frames and attaches this sexy piece of seating with the back of the box and a 45-degree angle.
These were the missing ingredient.
It's looking pretty good, huh?
You can see behind me we've got a 500 litre water tank framed with the extruded aluminium. Then we've got both sides of our U-shaped bench seat. That will be our main seating area with a table in the centre here. And then we'll run to the back and U-shaped round. To my left here, which you can't really see because it's kind of above me, that's where the kitchen island top bench will be. And I've put in some of the lower supports, but one thing that is definitely missing is the connection down from this to the floor, because I want to put in a little 150 up and 50 mil in kind of kick board, so that when you're standing at it, your feet go under. And then there'll be a bit of an overhang over it as well. So I will probably trim this a little bit because it's maybe just a little bit too big at the moment, but that's the beauty of this stuff, is I can put it together, look at it and go, actually, no, what I thought was right, that is too big. I don't want to waste anything in this build, but I'm allowing myself a little bit of leeway, just to, come on. I've never done this before. I'm learning from YouTube. I have no skills. No qualifications, definitely not a handyman whatsoever, just a willingness to learn new things and hopefully some common sense. Oh, and the ability to use like 3D modeling software and do the planning, because I do have an architecture background, which does help. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, coming together well. Hopefully I can get the additional joiners and get the skeleton of this whole place framed out to then show Soph, and then she can tell me I've made it all the wrong size and she wants everything moved and made smaller or bigger. So that'll be fun. Back with the joy of framing. I've run into a couple of issues, probably from inexperience rather than anything else. And one is this 40-degree tapered back of the box, and I've sort of tapered the edges and made it all fit really nice and flush. However, with the existing connectors I have, that doesn't work. The connectors don't work at a 45-degree angle. I've had to get back in touch with the aluminium provider and see what connectors they have that'll work for 45-degree angle, whether or not I keep all the miters that I've done or not. And if I don't, then I'm recutting aluminium, which I don't ideally want to do. I'm going to put a hold on working on the back of this until I work out how I'm going to connect these. The second thing that I've run into is actually over here at the back there. I had all my kitchen cabinetry framed up, ready to go, but there are two areas that I kind of was aware of, but thought maybe I don't need to fix. Looking at it now, I do need to fix. One is in this corner here, where you can see the door frame. Obviously this sits into the door frame, and I probably want to bring it to the inside of that. I did think with the cabinet top here that I could get away with it sitting there, so because it still has clearance to the door. My OCD and perfectionism thinks that actually bring it this side of the door so it's really nice and clean and flush, lose 6 or so centimeters of island space, then it's nice and flush with this door frame, which kind of sits out a bit. And in doing that, I've also realized that because of this 5.5 centimeters behind where I had my back rail, probably want to make that flush. Once again, I was thinking that the island top would just go flush with the wall and I wouldn't have to worry about it because it's only like that much of support. But I'm gonna start building off the top of this pantry lockers, especially down that end, and mark them up here so that'll come off the top my cabinetry up. To get that right, I kind of want that flush with the wall as well. So this 5.5 centimeters that protrudes from that 45-degree angle joint is what's making me have to redo things. If it was just a right angle and it was flush, then I wouldn't have to do any of this. I think rebuild this similar to how I did the bench seat, so it sits flush with the wall rather than, having a gap. At the moment, I'm just taking a lot of stuff apart, chopping 6 centimeters out of it and rebuilding it. That's probably an experience thing and trying to work things out on the fly. It may not look like much. I've reassembled the outside skeleton for our kitchen island, and now it is actually sitting perfectly flush. The wall here, the door, I've still got my 50mm kind of space for my kickstand, and then everything is sitting so much nicer. So now I can run my verticals off these endpoints. So down this end here, that's the vertical I want to run up for my food store, shelves, pantry. Maybe even pantry. Pantry is a good word for it. Two major upsides are it's now sitting flush inside the door frame, not over it. And I have it all the way to the wall flush so that I can run my cabinetry up flush to the wall until we get to the top where we have another 5.5 centimeter joint. So I'll have to make that work. Welcome back to framing, lots and lots of framing. Recently I've been working on the 3D model and adapting how my kitchen, island, cabinetry and all that's going to work. Definitely more complex using the aluminium framing with all the little joints to build up this thing and put in all the verticals and drawers. You've got to accommodate 30mm for the bars. You've got to accommodate these little L brackets or little pyramid brackets by the look of them, so that your drawers aren't hitting them, and in some areas you're allowing, I guess, about 60mm extra space for your supports. And I've been trying to make magnetic locking clamps for these drawers so that when they close, they'll stay closed. Good for little ones, not opening doors, and also in transit. Once I've framed all this up, then I can have a go at incorporating my drawer runners, building some of my drawer boxes, my drawer frontage, and putting all the ply on to see if we can create really nice, flush, beautiful cabinets that Soph wants and I want. So today I'm quite literally going to be following this 3D model, and then I'm going to build up all the frame, make sure I've got the right sizes to accommodate the dual oven microwave that Soph wants to get, our sink, our splash boards, the electrics, the plumbing and everything that's going to run into it. Yeah, let's get into framing, cutting, and hopefully by the end of this, the frame will kind of look like what we want our kitchen cabinet to do and give us an idea of, once we chuck everything in there, the spaces and so on. Got my kitchen island kinda in. I'm leaving all these kind of brackets quite loose at the moment, just because I know when I start making up all my drawers and my boxes and getting the oven and the sink and all those things in, I might need to adjust slightly, especially with the running rails for the drawers to slide out on and the little magnetic locks. But I'm pretty happy with it. It's kind of come together well. It actually looks like what you see online, what you see other people do. So I kind of think this is the easier part. It's just nice to have made some progress. I'm going through aluminium probably quicker than I expected. Don't know what I expected, but definitely getting through it. Probably gonna have to order some more. And I'm using a lot more of the little L bracket, triangle brackets I'm calling them, because they don't really look like L's. So I'm using way more than them than I expected to use. Now I'm just looking around the hab, trying to work out what things I need to take into the modeling software and work out how I'm gonna build a bathroom, shower, toilet, kids' beds, as well as kind of all the cabinetry and cupboards that are gonna sit above our windows along the top wall. I am thinking that I might use some aluminium coming up from this cabinetry to be a kind of base for support, so it's not all hanging off the fixings I'm going to do into the composite up high. So there is some kind of ground support going up. All in all, pretty successful day. I'm happy with that. Actually looks like we know what we're doing here. Our water tank is actually hard up against that corner there, which means that all this bench seating sits on top of that, and it's kind of like that much further off the ground, which means when you get to the bottom, this is actually, see, I can get my fingers under there, off the ground. In order to connect my base of my seat, which I want nice and flush with the ground, to that, I'm actually going to take off this whole bottom bar, put new lengths down, because this actually sits a little bit further out from the tank and past that little black strip here, which I can't do on the sides because that's hard up against the sides. So the sides are going to have to be higher, but at least at the front and the back, if I take this out, put new supports in, cutting new, hopefully not wasting any more aluminium, cutting new longer supports, run this to the ground, then I can fix the front and the back to the ground, and it'll be flush with the ground, which will give us more support. Then I can keep moving with these 45-degree angle sections and hopefully get the back of our U-shaped couch framed today. So anyway, let's get into taking this all apart and extending it and then refixing it all together again. So although that took way longer and was really fiddly, definitely a better result. Now it sits flush with the floor. You've got the edges over the water tank sitting a little bit higher, connected in so that the tank won't move around. And the real benefit from having that connected so it's kind of flush with the floor is I can now screw directly through the aluminium into our floor to secure everything down and make sure nothing moves around. And now I can build my U-shaped 45-degree angle pieces for the couch or the back of the couch, because that's also flush against the floor. So I'm getting maximum support. I want to use as many points of contact with the floor and screw into that as I can, because that's where the load's going to go. And when I had it raised, I would have had to raise the back of the seat as well. So everything would technically be raised on two pieces of aluminium and screwed into the ground, and that wasn't sitting right with me. So taking a bit of time now to fix the back, then we'll do the front, because if we do the back, we've got to do the front, and then we can do the U-shaped couch at the back and hopefully have all our back seating in. Okay, officially got the front back on. If I never see a little Allen key screw for those L brackets again, I'd be a happy man. However, I know I'm gonna have to do more. I think it was just the little fiddly spaces that I had to get it back in because I'd already built it, undone it, and then reconnected it. So hopefully ones in future won't be so painful. For all intents and purposes, we're actually slightly behind where we were this morning because I've taken out all the support beams and I need to recut them to a bigger size. So when I say recut, I need to cut new ones to 19.5 and the original ones are about 18 or 17. So gonna have to use a new piece of aluminium and try and find some use for these smaller offcuts that I have accidentally made and now do not need. We finally received our 45-degree angle joints. So ordered these from KJM Aluminium over here. They're pretty good. They rushed these to me, but you do have to allow a week or so at a minimum to get things. I need to really think ahead, otherwise it does hold me up for quite a while when I make mistakes. You can see these were the missing ingredient. That goes there. Yeah, okay, that works. So that's like the bottom of the joint. So you can run along the ground and then come up at a 45-degree angle. When you flick this around that way, you can, no. Can you come down at a 45-degree angle? That took me a lot longer than I thought it would, just to work out how to do these two connectors. Tapped straight into the end, self-tapping through the inside of that, and then channel one of these nuts and bolts if you want to go off the side bit. That little thing will go through this piece here, and then it fits into that channel here. And then when you Allen key it down, what that does is it locks it off and goes really tight in there. Onto the actual task that I wanted to do today, and you can see not wasted effort from yesterday because I now have this 45-degree angle piece all lined up. I'll show you down on the ground there. So that little connector bracket there goes flush to here. Don't know how I'm going to connect it to there. Maybe I'll take that little bottom piece apart and then screw this in. But first I'm going to chop another 1, 2, 3 minimum of these to those dimensions because they fit really well. And then line them all up, and then we can actually start trying to connect this in, and then we will have more of our back seat done. Pretty bloody exciting. It's a long road to get here, so I'm excited to actually have it in and have it all sittable and weight bearing. Literal blood, sweat and tears. I'll clean it off, but literal blood, sweat and tears in some of this because I caught my hand on a piece of jagged aluminium when it was twisting when I was screwing it in. I have done all my 1, 2, 3, 4 to connect up the back and form the basis of my ground supports for the rear L-shaped couch. So next thing is putting them in place. And yeah, we'll have a seat. I'm going to stop talking because my brain has stopped working and you can see it's getting dark. England days are short, but we are making progress, finally. Today is actually a day where we have progressed visually as well as structurally. That is the U-shaped and all the support for the water tank. I have run out of connectors, so I'm going to have to order some more of the L brackets. I do need to put way more supports in right down the bottom there where the legs of this thing go into the ground. This doesn't even have the supports in, just the aluminium across the top. and it does hold my weight. Pretty happy with that. So cabinetry framed for the kitchen and drawers, couch framed, almost all framed. And then we've got to move on to the bathroom where the fridge is going to go, our kids' beds and so on. Pretty good progress. I'm very happy with that.
And that's a wrap. Crazy that not that long ago we were showing you an empty box.
Welcome.
And now we have the start of a pretty solid skeleton. It's looking pretty professional, huh? In the next video, Dunk will finish off the framing. He'll build another kids' bunk, frame up the fridge and the bathroom. But not before he learns to drive HTVs.
God, I haven't been this nervous for something in a long time. I wish it was just a test that you do the 4 days and each day they grade you, and by the end of it you've either passed or failed, rather than one 1 hour test to make or break it, but that's life.
Will he pass first time? We'll see you next time to find out.
Oh, I don't have to do it again. Yes. Hey,
Daddy did it!
you happy? Yay, we can drive trucks.